Hey guys, today we're doing lesson 1-8, make an organized list, problem solving. Now remember in class we talked about different strategies to use for problem solving. We talked about looking for keywords that help us determine what kind of math operation to use. Today I want you to make sure, now we did this in class, everybody should have this. If you don't, make sure you have it now. Addition, when we're looking for words to help us determine if we're supposed to add or not, and, in all together, and both are keywords to look for if you want to know if you're supposed to add. Subtraction words are different, how many more, and less than. Now as we continue to study and go along, we'll find more keywords to use for these two math operations, but for now I want you to make sure you have these in your notebook. Steps to problem solving. Now in class we talked about different ways or different strategies to use for problem solving. You can make a list, draw a picture, guess and check, look for a pattern, work backwards, or write a number sentence. Now when we did number lines and we were trying to find the missing number in class, we practiced the guess and check strategy. Today we're going to be talking about making a list. Now let's look at number 6. It says, how many different sandwich choices are there if you want white bread? Use the chart to help. Now when you're doing problem solving, I want you to always, if you see a picture on a problem solving, I want you to look at it. Because in math, most of the time, if there's a picture there, it has information that you're going to need to help you solve the word problem. So if you see a picture, always star it so that I know that you looked at the picture to see if there's any information you may need. Now, in our word problems in class, we talked about circling keywords in our problem that help us. Now, I'm going to read it again. How many different sandwich choices are there if you want white bread? The word different, we know, goes with subtraction, so we know to always pay attention to it. And remember, underline our question. How many sandwich choices are there? Okay, now I'm going to circle white bread. Now white bread doesn't normally tell us what kind of math operation to use, but in this problem it's very important because if we look at our sandwich choices, there are two different types of bread. We've got white and we've got rye. In my word problem, they didn't ask me about the choices I could make with rye bread. They wanted to know about the choices you can make with white bread. So white bread is a key thing for us to look at because that's the only kind of bread choice that we need for this problem. Now, remember our problem solving strategies. Look for keywords, which we found different and we found white bread. Underline your question. We underline our question. We always underline a question so that we don't forget to go back and answer it. Sometimes in word problems, we get so busy trying to figure it out and it takes us more than one step and we forget to go back and answer ourselves. So that's why we underline our question so that when we look back at the problem, we'll remember to answer it at the end. And remember to show your work. I always want you to show me how you got your answer. That way if you make a mistake, I know how to help you. So our strategy that we're going to use today is making a list. So we're going to make a list of, all the possible choices we can have with white bread. Now, if we look at our filling choices, we've got ham, tuna, and turkey. So, I'm going to make a list of all the choices I could possibly have. I can have white bread and ham. I can have white bread with tuna. I can have white bread with turkey. So, there's three different choices that I can make with white bread and my fillings. So my answer would be 3. Do you see how when I made a list of all the possible combinations that I can make? Now let's look at number 7. It says, how many different sandwich choices are there if you don't want turkey? Now remember, our choices, now you can't see it here, but it's in your book. Remember we had white bread, and we had rye bread, and for our fillings we had ham, tuna, and turkey. Now remember, the strategy we're using today is making a list. How many different, I'm going to go back and circle my keywords, sandwich choices are there if we don't? Don't is a keyword because it tells me not to use or not to do something. So if we don't want turkey, okay, so I'm going to mark out turkey because they want to know how many choices you can make if you don't use turkey. Okay, so let's look. We can have white bread with ham. We can have white bread with tuna. Now, in this one, we can use our rye bread. So we can have rye bread with ham. We can have rye bread with tuna. So altogether, we can have 1, 2, 3, 4 different choices if we don't want to use turkey. Now let's let you practice. You're going to probably have to pause the video so you can copy down my chart. How many outfits can you make if you have a yellow shirt, a white shirt, and a blue shirt, and brown pants and black pants? Remember to show your work, and the strategy we're using is making a list. So make a list of all the possible combinations you can have with these 3 shirts and those 2 pair of pants. If you have any questions, remember to write them down at the bottom of your notebook, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.